we're going to do a actual real demo on how to design something and then send it to print, and then over lunchtime we'll actually print that design and see how it turns out. So all this basic stuff here at the front. So we'll just go through a little bit of, and thanks Eric for that, I'll see if it works in a second. So you can all read this, but it is really one of the hottest things out there at the moment, 3D printing. Right? If you want to do something for yourself and do something unique, it's one of the technologies that will enable you to do that. And design things like this and other things that are useful for your own Christmas lights displays. Not to mention other things around the house. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff out there you can print. Okay. So what is it? It's basically additive. With what you're seeing here today, you build each layer individually. It adds up to it. Okay. And that's really it. There's a couple of different methodologies. Another one is a bit like laser printing. You've got a material, laser goes round, forms the layer, drops down, and it keeps going down. So I don't know the actual name of that method, that technology off the top of my head, but they're the two main. One is build up, one is actually build it and sinking it down through the material. So traditionally you used to have to go out, get someone to make a mould up, get it blow moulded, get some manufacturer to make it. Want to order 10,000 at a time? Oh no, we need 100,000 before we can do that. I think the guys up that do all the wireframes in Queensland, someone was telling me that when they want these clips for their wireframes, their minimum quarter out of China is 500,000. Okay, so you want 100 for yourself. It's very easy to design them up and print them. And literally when you're designing them, what you see in your design package is going to be pretty close to what you get. Okay? You've all seen some of the things we've got printed around here. Really, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, can you imagine trying to do that in anything but some form of 3D printing? It's a complex shape with lots of bends, lots of curves. You just can't do it. So there are the sorts of things you can actually do. So this at the bottom, think Thingiverse. Anyone who knows Lithgow Lights, he managed to get his printer a couple of weeks ago. Anyone who might have been in chat that night, Ben and Dave got onto Thingiverse, and it was about an hour and a half of constant Thingiverse links, right? All these different things. One of the really useful things that they did put up, that was yours? Well, one of the ones that so everyone contributed. I think even I was throwing links into the mix at that night as well. Yeah, let's not go into that. That is a cover for the back of the standard 350 watt power supplies that we use. All right? Most of the power supplies we use are what you would consider not necessarily safe. Okay? Yeah, I think these are one of the things that anyone who's got a printer or knows someone who's got a printer, ask them to print you one, or for as many power supplies as you've got.
What are they worth each?
Look, I honestly didn't price it. I can have a look and slice one up and see what they would cost. Yeah. They'd probably have maybe $3 based on the material there. And $2,000 worth of printer.
So you can take that for 20.
Yeah.
It's a one-off.
It's a one-off, yeah. And look, that was a design straight from Thingiverse, did nothing with it, threw it into my slicing program for the printer and said print. Okay? Someone's already done, didn't have to do anything with it. So Thingiverse has got, I don't know what it's got on there, but it's untold quantities of fun little things you can print. Okay? My business is a fan of elephants, so to put it a little bit back on side, I've got various little elephant designs and printed up little elephant figurines. So, as I said, it's on demand. It's right there where you want it right now. So you want something, go and find it, print it. You might have to wait 3, 10, 12, 14 hours for it to come out, as you can see with those clips printing there, but it will happen. Okay? Want something from the design, print it. It really is that simple. What's in it for you? Fun. It comes back to the DIY of this hobby as well. Right? These days we go and buy our controllers, we go and buy our strings, right? We get the software. Right? It's like Domo was demonstrating with making wireframes. This comes back to the DIY nature of the hobby. Yeah, you can build the machines as well. Right? You don't have to buy them, you can build them. Uniqueness. How many of these are around the world? Not many at the moment. A couple of thousand. We will be sharing, and I've shared quite a few of the designs out in the forum. We will be posting those. Everyone's welcome to print them for themselves. And satisfaction. Darryl, how satisfied was it when the first print came off your printer? It's an amazing feeling, isn't it? You look at it and go, I designed that, or I found it, I printed it, and there it is. It's amazing. I haven't lost that satisfaction. I've got 1,640 odd printing hours on my printer now. It's been running pretty hard. I'm still satisfied when the prints come off. I'll tell you what, I'm pretty disappointed when they muck up as well. Okay? And you can see there, everybody's probably looked, some of those little clips haven't stuck to the bed properly, and they haven't, they're little squiggles and they're not stuck properly and they're mucking up. But we'll get up a fair lot percentage there that have stuck properly and are going to be okay. So no matter how good things are, you will get issues at times. How do you get started? Build your own printer, go out and get one, or go and buy one ready-made. Now, Darryl, myself and a bunch of others have taken the ready-made road because ultimately it is easier. Right? Build your own, RepRap. Who hasn't heard of RepRap? Pretty common name though. It's been around the community out there for self-replicating manufacturing machine. That's where it comes from. Right? And the idea behind the whole community was you build a RepRap, you printed the parts for someone else who wanted one. And they built one. Right? It did. It literally replicated itself around the world. As it says there. Really was the first of the low-cost 3D printers. Before that, they were worth mega thousands. They weren't cheap. Go and visit reprap.org for more information. Hugely comprehensive community and really quite helpful as well. Okay. Buy it off the shelf. How big should I? Really, it's option. The desktop's options like these. You can walk into Officeworks now and buy one for $700. I personally wouldn't do it, okay? Because they're really designed for, I want to print one of those. Okay. It'll print and it'll do a good job. But if you want to start printing, tens and hundreds of items for your Christmas light stuff, not one I'd necessarily buy. Okay? But still good machines. I mean, I don't think Officeworks would be selling them if they weren't too bad, because otherwise they're going to get a bunch of returns and not keep selling them. I think the most expensive one I've seen on a couple of the local retailers was about $12,000. Okay? They all do a very similar job. Okay? The more expensive ones might come with better and more polished software. I say might because I haven't used them, but there's lots of options out there. Everyone has a favourite. They will say it's a bit like, which controller will I use? Oh, I don't want that one. Everyone will have their own favourite and recommend something. The 3dprintboard.com forum, I would recommend everyone doing the research goes and reads that on their various models that they want. That forum is comprehensive and really talks about just about every sort of machine that's out there in one way, shape or form that might be used within the hobby home community. So, a couple of options. We're using the FlashForge Creator Pro, which is the model out there, and the FlashForge Dreamer have been the two that have been picked up by our Christmas community at the moment. Essentially, they're mechanically very similar. They're both dual extruder machines. They'll both print. They'll both output a fairly good quality job. But there are a couple of a couple of differences in them. FlashForge Creator Pro looks like that, and the Dreamer looks like that. So that looks like a bit more of a, I went and built it. It is made all out of metal, so it's quite solid and doesn't move around, which is very important. I believe the Dreamer is a plastic framed model. I haven't seen one in person. You've seen Eddie's in Sydney. I still think they're solid. If there's any issues with that. They look more like something you'd put on your desk in your office. I think we've all smelt the fumes from the ABS. I wouldn't necessarily put it in your office. So I'm not sure the looks actually matter. But if you do want to match it into your decor, that one probably looks better. Okay. It does come with Wi-Fi, so it's Wi-Fi enabled. Dell's proven that you can put a Wi-Fi card in the Pros and still connect to them with Wi-Fi and upload your files. Okay. You still can't print. You still shouldn't start the jobs remotely. You should watch them start, make sure they start printing. Okay. Software, you'll need a couple of things. Design software. Autodesk has a range of free tools, 123 Design and a few others. Tinkercad is the one I've logged into. It's a web-based online system. And for most simple stuff, it's pretty damn good. Okay. And you need what's called a 3D slicer. It's the magic software that takes the design and makes it into something the printer can use. Okay. And what it's called slicer is it takes that model in your 3D design software and slices it into each individual layer that the printer is going to use. Hence, slicer. Okay. You get those couple of things and a printer, you can make magic. So, Tinkercad. It's online, it's web-based. Is my camera still going? It's pointing in a funny direction. So, let's go and do a design and print a clip. I reckon.
Do you think printers print faster, or is it still limited to the heating and cooling?
The plastics tend to dominate and set what the print speeds will be. The different plastics you use, different materials you use, will determine some of the print speeds available. Okay, the thickness of the layers you print will determine how fast you print it. Okay, but then if you print them too thick, you won't get the nice fine detail and things like that. Okay, so I suppose if you're buying a $100,000 printer, it's probably going to print faster. But it still has limitations around the plastics that it's actually extruding. Okay. So you can see here that I've got a lot of designs already, and I'll just maximise that so we can see it. I'll just do this lid for a second. And so all the designs I've done recently. I did do myself a name badge, 3D printed. It's somewhere or other. I'll find it soon and pull it out. I did bring it over. But we'll create a new design from scratch. In fact, I won't quite do it from scratch. Live demos, and let's hope this works. Okay, that's the clip that we're actually printing right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate that. This has got a couple of things I want in it already. So spin it round. Now I've got all that grouped. I'm going to ungroup it. Now that's a shape that's available in Tinkercad, basically a clip shape. Okay, it's available as a primitive sort of shape within Tinkercad. I didn't have to design it. It's there for use. It comes with the ability to set a whole bunch of parameters. I want that thickness to be, it's currently at 2 millimeters. If I wanted it to be 3, I'd go 3. And with a bit of luck, you'll see it change its thickness. Okay, so in that aspect, it's pretty easy to work with. So I'll go back to 2. I'll leave these there. I think I actually need these in a minute. Down here, these are all the various shapes and tools and basket weave stuff and all sorts of stuff you can do. At the moment, I just want a simple box because what I want to do is, someone asked me, can I have a clip that clips to a flat steel bar? Okay. Who asked me that, by the way? Trying to think who it was now. It was someone from down here.
I think Rob.
Rob's outside. I think he said it was 6mm by 3mm flat bar. We'll call it 8mm for a second. So I need something. So it's 8mm by, let's call it 8mm by 3. I want a couple of mil each side, so I want this to be maybe 12mm wide. My clip is 6mm high, so I'm going to make that 6mm high. And I'll start somewhere. I'll make it 10mm deep. And I'll just move that up there. Now I want to make a hole, so the steel will go into. Let's drag a hole down here. So it was 3mm wide, 8mm, and we'll make that again 6mm high. So we'll make it 7mm high so I can see it. I'll just drag that in there. Okay, so there's our basis for our clip. Let's just align that so they're all nicely centred. So we'll adjust it, align it, and a little button there lets me align it. I'll zoom in a little bit more so we can see it. So we've got just group those two. So group those two. So I think I managed to group everything. I did. The easiest way to see whether you've done that is to just change the colour. I only want to group those two items at the moment. So there's my cutout in my block at the bottom. Okay, this will be a very rough clip, we can tell. So another hole for a second. Now normally when you clip over a bit of bar, you want a clip that's got a little bit dangling down so it locks it into place. We said it was 3mm deep, so we'll make that 2mm wide. Just going to slide that roughly in there. Set for 1mm step. You can see there that I've said, make me a slot in there and allow 1/2 mil each side there. Okay? Mightn't sound like much, but that should be enough. Okay? We'll group that together. Okay? So we've got the basics of clip. Okay? Now I think that's a bit wide there. I don't think I want that. So again, give me another one of these. Give me a couple of mil wide. I'm just going to slice a bit off the top of that model there. Maybe off the top of the clip there. Oops. I want to. Group. So I've actually managed to do something I didn't want to do, which was slice the clip itself. Oops, ungroup again. You can see, a bit rough and ready, but okay. That looks a bit more like we might want our clip to be. So you're just going to move that up there. I am going to centre it again. So we're all nicely aligned vertically. We have the basics for a clip. It's going to clip on a bit of steel frame. Because I left these here, I'm just going to, and because I can, this one's set up for internal diameter of 3.2mm. I know these printers print fractionally small, so it'll clip on 3mm rod. Okay. And I'm just going to grab the other one here. This one's set up 3.8, so clip on 4mm rod. Spin him around. See him up in there. Zoom in. Okay. I now got a multi-purpose clip. It really was that easy. Okay. Let's just group all that together.
Should you, just before you do, should you group the right, should you rotate that right hand so it doesn't get in the way of the slot rec bit?
Yeah, you could. I could also do this. A draw length, I'm going to shorten that one down a little bit. And you'll actually print a bit quicker as well. I'll do the same on the other side. Waiting for my properties to pop up. That one does. Shorten those down a little bit as well. There it is. So draw length. Remembering this is an online program, and every time you make a change, it saves. And then reloads back your change. So sometimes you'll be doing something and it's saving something that doesn't quite show up immediately. Okay. It's pretty responsive. So we now have a multi-purpose clip. I'm just going to group that together. And you don't have to group it, but it allows you to see where you might have issues when you go to print it. Okay? Sorry?
Like the hole. The little hole.
Little hole? No, oh yeah, there is. Good spot, Alec. Good spot that. Let's ungroup that. Move that fractionally that way. And regroup it. Seems to pick colours at random. I'm not quite sure that's true. That looks a bit thick down there. It doesn't need to be that thick. And you see how you can use these hole shapes to actually cut and slice your model. Sorry? They're great. They're wonderful. But not only that, right? You don't have to choose one of these just to box or a round hole, right? Let me just take, let me not do that. I won't try and write ACL. Where's my text one? Text. I've obviously got this upside down at the moment. I'm just going to, the letter A, hello, letter A, okay, shrink that in size a little bit, or make it a little large. Let's what I haven't shown is the ability to lift things up off the platform. Just drag it up in the air. I don't think I'm going to be able to make this small enough, but just to give an idea that you can actually push that. Oops. This is basically how I did the name badge. Push that down in there and then tell it that that's a hole. Okay, and then group it. And come on, there you go. Sorry? I could have done it on the face of that, yeah. You can actually do this. I'll set, whoops. Sorry? Yeah, that's what I just got asked. So I'm going to move the work face that I'm working on to that bottom part of the clip. Okay. I'm going to grab my text again. So we'll make that AussiePhil. Now I've just got to work out where I am. I need to send it down mill into the actual face of that. So, and we want to... So let me just align that. So we'll centre it that way, and we'll centre it that way. There we go, we're aligned. We'll now say, and I can make that just so it's easy to see. So that's now a hole. I hope I haven't gone too deep into the clip, I don't think so. We'll group that. There you go.
Darryl was going to print that in a different colour, so...
I can do that, but that's a longer, more complicated exercise. What you've got to remember with all this stuff, though, is when you're doing these designs, the printers print upwards, okay? So when you create things like that where it's got just an overhang, you either got to allow the printer to print support or accept that the printer may not be able to print it. So when you design all this stuff, you're trying to always design from the bottom going up, okay? We'll see how that prints. We might be quite surprised. There's not much overhang there. Okay, okay, so let me just move my work plane back to normal. So there's my design. I'm going to just download that for 3D printing. Download an STL file. STL files is what you'll hear spoken about all the time. They're a design file, just a STL file. Just want to know where it is, so it's in Field Downloads, a copy of STL file. Simplified 3D is the software. Now, I bought this. It's a commercial product. It's also probably the best piece of slicing software on the market for working with 3D printers for our general hobby use. Okay, it's about $150 dollar, somewhere in there. Okay, you can buy them with the printer. With these anyway. I bought mine separately. It was one of those, I don't want that. It comes with all free software. Yeah, free software works, but this just works so much better, faster and easier. Okay. So I'm going to load that model. There's my clip loaded into the software, and it's basically at that point ready to print. I'm going to duplicate that a few times so that we can, let's just...
So that's basically showing you printer bed.
Sorry?
Is that showing you printer bed?
Yeah, that's showing me the printer bed. That's the expected printer bed for the printer.
Yep.
Okay?
So then you can fill that right up.
Yeah. So this is I've got this one pre-configured for this FlashForge printer. Okay? I'm going to duplicate that model a couple of times just so we'll make 3 copies of it. Actually, we'll make... You want to do what I've got called ditto printing turned on in the printer. You've seen those where I'm using both printheads at the time. It gets a little tricky with this software. There's a couple of enhancements again in the software to make some changes. I just need to get rid of some stuff here even though I duplicated it. Basically, I duplicated it to get it to lay it out on the bed properly. Yeah. So now I've just got to roll through. With the ditto printing, I'll actually print 6 at one time and code with the printer, with these FlashForge printers. Now I'm going to actually prepare this to print. There's a big prepare to print button. I haven't added a manufacturing process. Add. Come on. Ain't you life for life, dinners? I actually managed to lock this up. First time ever. It's actually because I've got Watcho Pro running. no doubt it's some weird conflict with something that's running on this box. I must admit, I'd only ever got to the we are putting the clip in there and not actually seeing if it would actually slice the file. Let me go back into it again. No, I didn't save that. Let's just see if we can add a process first. Yeah, as soon as I add the process, it decides it's going to fail. I've got this running on my laptop. I'll fire this up in a minute. I'll slice the file. So let me grab my laptop. That's actually really annoying. So is there any questions so far?
Does the machine have consumable parts?
Yes. It's a mechanical machine. Like all mechanical machines, there will be wear and tear. Okay. I've had a number of issues with mine. Remembering that I've got over 1,600 printing hours on mine. I replaced the nozzles themselves. I didn't have to. Turned out. There's some plastic tube inside which should be replaced on probably every 1,000 hours worth of printing. Okay. Pretty easy to do. Spanner under the nozzle, stick your tube in. I had one of the wires broke for one of the heat sensors because it's solid wire on a moving platform. It's going to break, So there is a couple of things, but in general.
Were any of those bits expensive?
What did I pay? I think I paid more in freight for the sensors than I did in the cost of them. I think it was $7 for the sensor and $15 worth of freight. That's where I'm going. No, not really. Nothing else really. You'll go through ABS or PLA or whatever your chosen plastic is, like going out of style. I print. You buy it per kilo. The rolls are sold by weight. Okay, they're not sold by length. They're sold by weight. So you buy a kilo. I got about 320 odd bulbs to a kilo. Okay, so you'll get 1,000 clips in a kilo because they weigh. You felt these. They weigh nothing. These they're a bit heavier. Might get maybe 150 to 200 out of a roll, maybe a bit more. I haven't got a set of scales here. Something like that. Feels like maybe 60, 70 grams. Divide that into 1,000. Tell you how many you'll get of those. Okay. So literally it's just by weight. Okay. So what Daryl's doing there with the clips, I actually normally just grab a pair of bullnose pliers, grab the clip, twist off, and I find that works really well for the clips. There's my little 3D printed badge. 2 colour. Okay. So I actually used the dual colour printing capabilities. Did the design in Tinkercad, sliced it up in the 3D simplifier, and that's what we come up with. So, prefer to pass that. Copy of clip. So that one's already set up. Now, the FlashForge Creator Pros have a feature called Ditto printing. Okay, where it will print the same design with both heads at the same time. Okay, so on small objects that aren't any bigger than the distance between the two extruder heads, you can actually halve your print speed by doubling the quantity. I won't halve the actual print speed, but you'll print double the quantity in the same time. Okay? So that's one really great feature of the FlashForge Creator Pro over the top of the Dreamer. The Dreamer can't do that. Okay? So, I mean, if you're only ever going to print objects that are bigger, that doesn't matter. But I can guarantee you won't. You'll print a whole bunch of stuff that's small, little stuff. Okay? Is there any questions?
What is the two different plastics?
What's the two different plastics was the question? Colour. They're both ABS. Yeah, that was it. They're just yellow ABS and a natural coloured ABS, no colouring at all. So the natural colour ABS, if you jump on the websites and you look at, UV safe, safe and stuff like that, all plastics degrade in the sun. Well, yeah, I suppose all plastics do degrade in the sun. Don't use ABS outside. Don't use, everything else outside. A whole bunch of stuff has got ABS outside all the time. Even nylon degrades, and we see it with the cheap cable ties and stuff. I guess unless you're actually buying special UV inhibited plastic, yeah, this stuff will eventually degrade. But really, if you get 3, 4, 5 seasons out of it, print another lot. Who really cares? You update that item anyway. My attitude is that if I get 4 or 5 seasons out of these, I'll be happy. I started printing them in the end of January. The very first thing I did was put 3 bulbs at the back of my garage. Then my back of my garage gets all the morning sun right through to about 2 o'clock during the day. So full sun. And it's also getting direction reflect off the aluminium of the garage, so it gets pretty well baked. If anything, they've actually gone a slightly whiter colour. So it's actually improved them fractionally, not made them worse. So I'm actually considering that. And they don't feel brittle or anything. They still feel like they're fairly new.
They haven't started going powdery.
No.
Because generally things start to powder.
Yeah, they start to powder. No, they're still looking good. So,
Summer will be a big test.
well, we went through, that was February, March, April, still pretty much. Yeah, February, March, April through to now. We've had a pretty good run. So I'll be interested to see how they go leading into Christmas, these 3 samples I've got there, but I've been happy with them. And it should be more than enough for us to be getting 4 or 5 seasons of these out in the sun. That string I was playing around with yesterday, it normally has, for people who have actually seen my tree, Steve has, I know, it had what was plastic maple leaves on it, and they were a soft plastic, and they were shaped like a maple leaf. Bought them from an eBay reseller actually in Albury. He imported 4,000 of them for me from China. Never been able to find them again, but everyone loves them. But after 3 years, they were black. It wasn't the plastic that had faded. They'd picked up all the road grime and all the dirt and all the, So you think in some cases it's not the fact that you're going to get fading and stuff like that. You're going to get dirt and rubbish and stuff sticking to it.